Hey, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a good holiday, Thanksgiving holiday. I hope everybody had a good couple weeks. But we are back recording today. A little bit early today, like around 5, but it's all good. Usually I was trying to do 7, but 5 is all good. And we want to welcome you if you first tuned in to the Thinking Game, where we talk about self improvement and life topics. This is where we share our experience of growing up in an urban environment, Southwest Little Rock. It is navigating life and careers in the corporate and tech space. In today's episode, we will be talking about awareness and discernment for regular people. Is that one of the top skills? Let me know in the comments that a regular person, not celebrities, because we ain't celebrities, but for regular people, do they need discernment and awareness? Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's talk about awareness. Awareness is about knowing or being conscious of something, while discernment is about using that awareness to make insightful judgments, distinctions, or decisions based on a deeper understanding or perception of a situation or information. So let me know in the comments what you think about this skill, discernment and awareness. And do you think that's a skill that we need to have as a life skill? Because I think it is. I think the more insight you have, the better off you'll be. But let me know in the comments what you think. So let me know in the comments. But when it comes down to life, when you're young, you don't have a whole lot of awareness and a whole lot of discernment. But through experiences and things, everybody experiences different things. So this person's discernment might be higher versus this person because they haven't been in that field, um, versus somebody else that's been in that field. You think about construction or IT. Like I work in IT, so I've been in IT for over 10 years. So my discernment and understanding of IT may be different from a person who just graduated high school, and that's why, in my opinion, it's important to get with people who has awareness and discernment so they can give you insight and give you a head start on what you're walking into, especially with life. Because there's no class in college, there's no class about life. The only really, in my opinion, things about life is in the Bible, the book of Proverbs. Can't go wrong with that book of Proverbs. So much wisdom in that book alone by itself. And you should read that for yourself. And it don't matter what age you are, you can always learn something from that book of Proverbs. So, getting into the awareness part of this, that's what we're gonna talk about first. Being conscious of cognizant of information, situations, or events. Pretty much it's the ability to perceive, recognize, or be mindful of something. So let's say you play sports. The best players in sports, that's why they call them veterans, is right when you get out of the rookie phase, reaching your peak and become a veteran because you played the game for some years. So your awareness is high. That means you can see a defense and you got the awareness to know, hey, they in a cover too. So if you're a wide receiver and you know they're running a cover two, you know what adjustments you can make based off your awareness that a rookie probably wouldn't know or have that awareness yet. Now, bring this back to regular life, hanging around people, having the awareness to know, do I hang around these people or do I not hang around these people? To be able to perceive who you dealing with. Am I dealing with a person that's solid? Am I dealing with a person that's a manipulator? Am I dealing with a person, a con artist, selling scams or whatnot? You got to be able to perceive these things as you become an adult. And the quicker you can do it, the better off you will be. Sometimes You gain more awareness by being burned by people as far as being scammed or being manipulated. Then that kind of builds on your awareness and makes it more stronger as far as your awareness, be able to perceive things that don't really stand out, that ain't as obvious, you know what I'm saying? And then once you become awareness, your awareness increase, things become more obvious that you wouldn't have thought about before you had that awareness. So let me know in the comments what you think about awareness. Is that a skill that is needed today as an adult? Is that an important skill? To me, it's top three. Discernment and awareness is top three. You got to have both of those if you want to be able to maintain a level of success and keep growing. My second point is being aware of urban issues, which means understanding the challenges of living in an urban environment due to poverty, violence, or economic differences. So, me being from Southwest Little Rock, Arkansas, living in an urban environment, grew up in an urban environment, grew up off Chico and all that Chico and God Springs, ride the 77 Impala through all them little streets. But you have to be aware of where you're going. You got to be aware of where you at. It has to be a part of your thinking. We call it in the hood, in the neighborhood, keep your head on the swivel. You got to be aware of what's going on at all times so you don't get caught up, you don't get caught in the crossfire, or you don't want to get caught up in the case with nobody. You just gotta know who you're dealing with. Um, if you're driving, who gets in your car? You gotta have awareness of that. Who's getting in my car? Because if you get pulled over and that person puts their gun or whatever they have in your car, that can be considered yours until it gets sorted out in court. But now you got to go through the process. And because you didn't have the awareness, that person would take you down through there and you have to make that choice again. Hopefully you'd have the awareness to make a better decision the next time. But some things you got to have the awareness on that you don't want to make a mistake in that area based on the awareness, the consequences that could happen. So awareness is very important, especially living in an urban community. Cause that's kind of how you overthink and survive and get out the hood is the awareness to avoid the pitfalls and traps. So my subtopic is what does a teen or parent have to be aware of living in an urban community? So this is kind of like a two-sided coin because sometimes whatever role you are, sometimes those roles as a parent, you get so in the routine of going to work and your kids are going to school, they got to hang out in the neighborhood they're in. And as a parent, you have, in my opinion, but you have to really have the awareness to know what neighborhood that you're living in. And a lot of first times people say they can't control where they are or where they live. But at the same time, you can't control it, but you got to be aware of where you at. Like what situation is your kid in that you're raising? Because the collateral damage of being somewhere that you didn't have no choice to be is your kid get caught up in the streets, could get caught up doing making one pitfall and cause them, years of setbacks, or it could cost them all. I've seen it could cost a life because they got caught up in the wrong crowd, hanging with the wrong people. And when somebody says they didn't have a choice, you got to ask them, how did you get to the point whether you don't have a choice? That's where you have to be aware, have the awareness to be honest with yourself. How did I get to this point where I don't have a choice but to live where I'm at that's causing the collateral damage? Another thing is from a teenager standpoint, kid standpoint, if you live in a single parent household, and let's say the stats kind of support the most teens in the urban community do, you have to have the awareness to stay away from trouble as much as you can that you can see. Because when you're young, you just think you're having fun, you just think you're doing this. But in order to avoid trouble, in order to avoid situations that set you back for years on end, you have to have the awareness to perceive, to try your best to stay away. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
You got it, man.
Tardy for the party.
All good. So, man, let me know what you think about that, man. You think awareness and discernment is like a top skill? What do you think is that? What would it be in your top 5 or 10?
It's got to be definitely in the top five.
Yeah, I said that earlier. It's
It's,
definitely.
it's like, awareness and discernment. It's like a sense, you know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
with dealing with other people
yeah,
in the workforce, in the real life.
yeah,
Awareness is your ability to see things that are there. If you're not aware of them, they might as well be invisible. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
That's true.
So that's the like listening and hearing and things like that.
Yeah,
Something can be there all day, but if you don't have, the awareness to see it or notice the signs or discernment, um, it might as well not be there.
so
Being
what do you
able to
think?
see people's intentions and things like
Oh
that,
yeah, sure.
or you have a sense or feeling about them, and being able to act on them. Awareness is seeing it. Discernment is
Yeah.
acting on it, or avoidance, or whatever you need to get out of the situation that you're in. Helps you make better choices.
I think the thing that I think sometimes I learned from just growing up is a lot of if you don't do things, if you're kind of sheltered or you never done some of the things, the awareness don't be that high in it. Like in order to know that a person is lying to you, you kind of gotta be you probably lied to somebody before too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
experience
how
is
would
the
you know if
best
that
teacher.
person lying? How would you know they lying if you know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
you know,
They doing something wrong. Well, because when you
yeah,
were in that position, you did something wrong, and that's what you did. You noticed those things
exactly.
in other people. Like this, where you get a job, and your supervisor, your boss, or other employees accusing you of stuff you
Yeah,
never even thought of doing, because that's what they were doing when they
right,
were in your position, when they was a new hire, when they
right.
did this. So sometimes they gotta you go in the culture, they teach you the bad habits. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Telling you not to do. Hey, don't be doing that. It's real easy uh, to steal office supplies or to steal time or to come in late. It's real easy. This all you got to do. And if you do that, it's like, well, you just taught me how to do it. You know what I mean?
boy,
So
yeah. And then I was talking about right before you came on, like being aware of urban issues, understanding the challenges of living in the urban community due to poverty, violence, or economic differences. Um, when parents said they didn't have a choice, they had to live there.
yeah,
But at the same time, the collateral damage of that though is that your kid could get caught in a spider web of living in the in the urban community or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think they don't get talked about a lot, but it's a tough situation. And at the same time, you have to ask yourself if you got the awareness, like, how did I get here? Why I don't have a choice? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So that's a really good point. And it's not your parents' decision or your decision that you made 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. This is years ago. You're
Yeah,
living with the consequences. Your parents are living with the consequences that they made probably when they were 16 or 18, with having a kid, dropping out of high school, and things like that. When they make those decisions back then, that
right.
affects dropping out of high school affects your child. You know what I
Boy,
mean? 30 years later.
yeah,
So sometimes we're dealing, or smoking crack or whatever. Sometimes we're dealing with our parents' consequences that they for actions they made when they were 16, 17, 18 years
yeah,
old. And we're living in we don't have a choice where we live, you know what I mean? But you can
right.
learn from it and try not to be in that
Yeah, because some
situation.
places, I was thinking about this while I was going to school today. Some places you don't have complete control of, like what you got going on. Like like riding a school bus. That's a contained space. You don't really have a whole lot of control. You know what I'm saying? To stay out of trouble or try to avoid trouble if it come your way, because everybody's in that one space on the school bus. Going to school like junior high, maybe elementary a little small, but junior high, you don't really deal with teachers unless you in that class. But when you in the hallway, it's a lot of space. You can kind of a little bit more control than being on a school bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
On the
spiritual
courtyard.
people will say that's when the devil gets you. Those blind spots, no man's land. You got to realize a bus, like when I was going to Dunbar, not so much when I was going to Cloverdale, our bus can get really full.
Oh yeah, quick.
A
Yeah,
lot of people can be on that bus,
yeah.
and it's one adult
One adult
watching that many kids with
watching
that
60
many
maniacs.
ideas in their head. I'm going to do this. I'm going
60
to hit
maniacs.
somebody. I'm going to
Yep.
steal somebody. I'm steal from somebody. I'm going to sit in the back.
Yep.
And do these type of things. And you're a little kid. You know what I mean? It's very important maybe to sit at the front of the bus or have an outside
Sometimes
seat.
you can sit at the front. They still come mess with you. I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
no place is safe for one adult watching 30 kids in a enclosed space with no
Boy,
seat belts.
maniac.
I've seen a lot of stuff happen. You try to, maybe sit in the front, sit in the aisle. You just gotta hold your own on that
Yeah.
little 15 or 20 minutes that anything can happen. I had fights on. I think I had my first school fight on the bus
Yeah.
in the elementary school because the things that are being said there can't be policed by the bus driver. The bus is so loud.
Yeah.
You're in an isolated seat. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? 7 rows back. If you let words hurt you, you can be detrimentally affected
Yeah.
by stuff like that.
Right.
You know, maybe you sexually harassed. As a girl, you got to watch yourself. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
nervous about letting my son ride the bus.
Yeah.
Because the stuff I seen on the bus, right? But
Yeah.
that's high
Exactly.
school.
And
It,
I
it,
think
it,
too,
it amps up on each level.
you can't
Elementary.
you can't pick who you're around at certain situations when you're young. You can't pick who you're around. But when you graduate high school, become an adult, you can pick who you're around. Mostly. You agree?
Yes, for
Mostly
sure.
you pick who
You
you're around.
have more control of that.
Yeah.
And like you said, your parents pick your environment, and you just gotta adjust to the environment. You living in certain neighborhoods, you get a big screen TV. You gotta rip that box up. You gotta cut it up. You know what I mean, and put it in the trash bag because you're basically displaying advertising what you got in your house, and they
Yeah.
gonna run up in there and get it. So you
But
gotta move
how does a
accordingly.
person avoid, like when they say, "Man, come on, man, let's go rob this bank real quick. Stop being weak and come on." How do you adjust to that? That's the kind of stuff that I don't think people realize. Like, you want your kid to fit in, but then this is the kind of stuff they trying to do that could come to them to fit in. How does a person avoid that?
Awareness of self. Got to really know who you are,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it's no training wheels to that. Like you don't know
Nope.
if that person's going to say, "Hey, let's ride this bank. Let's go bust these windows. Let's go just do some kid stuff, hijinks, pranks, or playing." You don't
Yeah,
know what that is. And it's really hard to kind of establish your reputation on who you are, your persona, like whether I'm going to be a football player, this and that. Uh, until you find that out, you're real susceptible to taking the identity someone else gives you.
right.
And you just got to be like, nah, I ain't with that, and you can just stand firm on that.
Yeah.
I've seen
So,
people get talked into a
oh,
lot of
sure.
situations they shouldn't have been in.
Yeah, because they want to fit in, they don't want to be ridiculed. Sometimes you get ridiculed and stuff like that. For sure. So our
And
next one is
it's not
go ahead.
always robbing a bank. You know what I mean? Inappropriate situations with girls.
Yeah,
You get three friends. Oh yeah,
yeah,
you can go back there and do that to her too. Well, I don't really want to, and then this and that. You know what I mean? And
hmm
then you get pressured into doing something that you be charged later with. STDs and things like that because you want to be a big dog or you want to be whatever
right.
deem important.
And my next point is social awareness involves understanding societal issues like inequality, discrimination, and poverty. Having the awareness to overcome and actually see those things in real life and actually overcome. I think some people don't realize, like, again, sometimes if you live in different regions, you don't really get it. Some of the stuff we kind of not understanding it unless you lived in that. You kind of live through that kind of stuff, but a lot of times if you don't have the awareness though, because some people they know that inequality, discrimination is happening, but because it's not hitting them, they don't really say nothing. Well,
Yeah,
it
I
ain't
mean,
affecting me, no harm, no foul. It ain't affecting me, but then when it affect them, wait a minute, that ain't fair. You know what I'm saying?
they count on that. Like, it
Yeah.
ain't affecting me. I'm gonna slide by. I'm the one that's not gonna get caught. And
Hmm.
then when you get hit by, oh, this is injustice. Why everybody ain't got my back? Who back did you have when it was happening to somebody else? So that we got to stand up when we see something wrong, even if it's not affecting them. And that's hard because you just want to go
Yeah,
to work and get your money. And
exactly.
they not harassing you. They're not discriminating against you. You get your promotions. But then what about it when it's your turn? When
Yeah,
you're
see,
saying,
and I think that sometimes I think young people understand like when a woman says she wants this kind of man or this high value man, and sometimes in order to be high value, you got to be have the awareness to see these things, but how to avoid and not mess up your value as well. It's a tough balancing act. You know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
because
and
the higher you go up, you're gonna face inequality, discrimination. You're gonna face it. I don't care who you are. You
you're
know,
going to
people
become
come
a
on here,
target.
huh?
And you're going to become a target. The higher you go up.
Yeah.
And it's a different ways to be a target. You can
Oh
be
yeah.
somebody's competition. You can
Mhm.
be somebody's. You can be somebody else's meal ticket.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get people are gonna try to use you. But he was talking about awareness. Awareness is very important in that self-awareness, knowing where you are on the totem pole. Now
Yes.
we all know who we are inside. We
Right.
all are high value inside. I'm a 10, I'm a 12, I'm a 13, I'm a 20. My confidence is high, and I'm a child of God, and I'm capable of anything. Right?
Right.
I'm a prince, and I'm a king. And I'm a leader, and I'm handsome, and I'm smart. You know what I mean? So you all know that about yourself. But where are you located on the social hierarchy? Where do other people think you are? A lot of people think that doesn't matter. Is what you think of yourself and not other people. If my job views me as a cashier or custodian, I'm a custodian, even though I view myself as a CEO. I know
Hmm.
when I go to my job, my responsibilities are that of a custodian. So you
Right.
got to kind of your self image and where you currently are, you got to try
Reality.
to match them up. You got to try to bring
Yeah.
where you currently are up. You know what I
Reality.
mean?
Yeah.
Building skills, going to school, going to therapy, exercise,
Yeah.
uh, and things like that can help you really your self image actually match up to your real image and how other people perceive you.
Yeah. Because so you think about social awareness, like understanding how things really go. Like when you become a provider as a man and you have kids and a family, how much time does a man really get to exercise? Unless that's part of your lifestyle for real. It's supported in the house.
Yeah,
You know
you
what
got to
I'm
make
saying?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the
You know
got
what
to
I'm
make.
saying?
You got to make that you got to make that time for mental
Yeah.
health. You got to make that
Yeah.
time for spirituality. You know what I mean? We all want to be doing something else, but you got to go to Bible study or you got to have that one-on-one time with God. You
Yeah.
got to get. It's only 24 hours in a day. We understand,
Right.
and everybody's got to work that 80 of every 2 weeks or whatever your thing may be.
Yeah. I talked about that on the one I did. I was like, you as an individual are responsible for your development. Even if you bring other people into your life, you still are responsible. Like Mike is still responsible for Mike development. I can't depend on Ashley to develop me. She may support me in development, but I still have to do the work and develop myself. You know what I'm saying? Through learning and learning skills and processing things in a way that makes sense without, destroying the house, stuff like this. So for sure, man, for sure.
And you got to think about other people as add-ons to your
Yeah,
development. That you
yeah,
can't like you're the burger, they're the fries. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's and it's a condition with a purchase of a burger, you can get the free fries or the free drink, but you gotta purchase, you gotta make that big purchase to do it. You can't just depend on your side item like your wife, your husband, your parents. I'm just eat fries because the fries free. No,
Yeah.
you gotta buy that burger or you gotta bring that burger. You're responsible for that burger. Those are complementary things. They're gonna help you, like your wife, your parents, your brother,
Yeah.
your sister, your friends, and things like that. They're here to help, but they're not here to do it for you. They're a good assist person. They pass real good, but they're not gonna shoot the
Yeah.
ball for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this video real quick too while we're here, man. I want to see what you think about this. You probably heard this before, but man, this is definitely a thing. We're talking about social awareness and stuff. How things, how people be thinking, especially on the job and stuff. Be running real quick. Let me know if you can hear it.
Did a study, and the study went something like this. They asked the research subjects a simple question. The question they proposed was, you're looking for work and you have 2 job offers. Okay. Job offer A is going to pay you $100,000 per year, but your coworkers will make $200,000 a year. Job offer B is going to pay you $50,000 a year in a company where your coworkers make $25,000 per year. The professors found that fully 50% of Americans choose job B. It's actually at the heart of a lot of what's wrong in America, because these people don't want to do better themselves. They actively want someone else to be doing worse than them. It's not about them making more money. It's about, well, that person makes more. They're concerned about what other people are making and not what they're making themselves. 2 professors did a study. And the study went something like this. They asked the research subjects a simple question.
It is pretty
The question
crazy.
they proposed was,
And I've had a person answer this question. I mean, this African American, female. They would say they were like raising minimum wage, and I was like, well, what's a good wage to raise it to, or what's a yearly salary? And when it got close to hers, no, they can't make that. You know what I mean? They can't come in making that, this and that. And it's like, because it was like, well, I work hard for what I get. They can't make anything close to what I'm making. And people need to feel that. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's more than what I had last year or even 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you're the low man on the totem pole. Everybody else makes double what you make. I'm making double what I made last year, and I'm making $25,000 more than what I made last year. I don't care what you make, but the hierarchy is real.
Right.
People need to feel superior. I know some people will take a supervisor position if secretly they didn't make any more money, but they got to be in charge of people, they'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm not taking not taking more responsibility without more money.
Exactly.
And I can say that to you, Faith. I can say that behind a closed door because I know that about me.
Right. Exactly.
I don't get, like, a lot of people are attracted to it. Women, men, especially women, who are supposed to be more like submissive. Wow, you have status at work. Well, I don't get paid any more for that status.
Right.
But I got it. You know what I mean?
I just want the power, pretty much. Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but if it's at the price of your self-development, growth, financially, spiritually, mentally, like, you get to be a deacon, but you don't really get to do nothing. You don't get paid. You can't, but you got the little title and you get the little wear the pen. I think that's weird.
Yeah. I think you got, like you said, you got to know you. And I've always been to that ilk, like, worrying about a person to the point where it's going to affect me. Oh, like, if you can't take a 6-figure job because you don't want nobody else to make 6 figures, man, you got to check yourself. There's something wrong with you, man. It's crazy.
Something very wrong.
Man,
you have privileges, and if somebody below you got the same privileges, they can't do what I do. And if it bothers you at night, that's crazy. Like you were saying, very early on working, what these people say at this job, I leave the job at the job. Now, me, I got to get stuff on my chest immediately, then I leave it alone. If I
Yeah.
see somebody doing something crazy, man, Gerald at my job did something crazy, and he always doing that. That's the end of the conversation, unless you
Yeah.
got something to say. That took me 30 seconds or less because Gerald did something ridiculous. I'm
Yeah.
not coming home festering 2 weeks, trying to, no, I can't do it.
But yeah, my thing was people gonna always show you who they are. And if you expose it, they're gonna stop showing you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's good to let people play themselves out and hang themselves, or just play themselves out. So you can kind of see who they are. Because the more they get comfortable, the more they show you who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like if a dude is a douchebag, he gonna keep showing you how much a douchebag he is. But if you call him out, like, man, you acting like a douchebag, he gonna fall back. Oh, I ain't gonna do that no more. I'm gonna kind of be reserved around him now.
But
So
his thoughts and his feelings have not changed, but he's
mhm.
masking it around you. That's
Yep.
why people say, well, if you talk about my friend or something like that, I'm gonna stand up hard and defend them and this and that. Hey, tell me how you really feel, and then me and my friends or me and my group can move along without you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I need to know how you really feel, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you get that out.
And that goes right into our next topic, discernment. Discernment goes beyond mere awareness. It involves the ability to judge or make decisions with a deeper understanding, perception, and insight. It's about distinguishing between different options or understandings, the subtleties and nuances within a situation. Like you were just saying, somebody come and complain about Mike, and you discerning, like, wait a minute, is he complaining or is he hating on Mike? You know what I'm saying? And even if he complaining, what he complaining about, that's what Mike do. So what in the world, like somebody with John, that's what John do. Like you didn't see that John do this? I mean, John,
Like that's him.
somebody complain about him joking. John is a joker. I never know him nothing else different. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's like, well, shut that down, fight, you know what I mean? No, like me, that's clear. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it all out of you. You know what I mean? Say what you feel. You know what I mean? And then I can go to Mike and then we can discuss it as a group and just move along. Just like, this person ain't in our inner circle. Like that's how they really feel about the real you. You know what I mean? Now you know.
Discern people. Sometimes people are gonna hate on you. It's just how it is. I mean, you could be doing good, they can hate on you. You could be doing bad, they can hate on you. You make a mistake, they can hate on you. They always remember the mistake. All the good you do, they remember the one mistake you made.
Boy, they'll remember that forever. You know what I mean? I remember when I was 6, you stole my candy corn or my red Hot Wheels.
Man,
And I just let those people because people wear masks.
they do.
And sometimes people always talk about shutting them down, setting these boundaries and things like that. Sometimes when you set a hard boundary in certain positions in your life, that'll force that person to put on a mask. Well, I gotta act like this around John, and they acting, they acting respectful, but then when they get out of your presence, they start talking real reckless and real disrespectful. And I can't have because I had it, the situation I was in a couple years ago. Oh, hey, what's going on, big dog, man? It's all you. You know what I mean? I wish I had your hand, and it's just all this fake and shake in my face.
Boy.
And being around other people, you know what I mean, they were saying some really negative things, trying to prevent growth for me and things like that. And I was like, well, that's the dude that I don't really know. He just really got he always positive when I come around, but then he blocking jobs and school opportunities. You know what I mean? It's like, for what? So when you check somebody and they see you check somebody in front of them, they'll put their mask on so they won't incur your wrath, but you still got a snake in your group.
Yeah, I think growing up, like discernment, I didn't know what discernment was till I started reading the Bible, but I didn't know what it was. But being able to learn a person and actually almost know what they're gonna do, you might not know 100%, but you can kind of see it coming. Like you just back then, just dating girls, you can kind of tell, like, this girl probably gonna try to run a gambit on me. She probably gonna try to ask me to take her to Red Lobster. Am I gonna take her to Red Lobster? Absolutely not. well, she probably gonna try it. Let me sit back and see if she gonna try this. Let me just go through the roller coaster a little bit. Boom, she tried. And it's like you start studying person, you start seeing similarities and personalities. You start seeing the discernment in it, like, oh,
And
and
when
then
you see those things using Discernment, you figure out who you are, what you're able
right,
to deal with. You know what I mean? You
exactly.
can make that
That's true.
decision. Oh, I can do Red Lobster, but you call me. You know what I mean? You got to build with my name on it. You know what I mean? And all the conversation, you working up your nerve to ask me to take this bill or to do something. Like you call me, you don't never call me to check on me, but you call me when you need a ride to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you like working up the nerve to like only reason this dude called me, he need a ride. You know what I mean? And he didn't talk to me for 45 minutes to ask me for a ride. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You start to see the patterns in people and things like that.
yeah.
But
And
it's
then
always good to be the lender and not the borrower. So
and I think discernment just based on your experiences as well, like just experience you go through in life. Some people may have more discernment or experience in different areas that another person may not have. You know what I'm saying? Another person, he might have more discernment in finance than another person may have in dating. Another person may have more discernment, in other areas, like me working in IT versus somebody that don't work in IT. You know what I'm saying? So you got to
yeah.
be able to weigh those things out. Like a person's experience, you can't never, you can't substitute experience. It's really hard to do. So
And that's another thing you can discern by talking to people. They gonna
yeah,
tell you what
yeah,
burned them. They gonna
yes,
tell you what they're afraid of. Uh,
hmm
don't talk to me like that or this and that. Well, I don't never let nobody borrow money because blah blah blah. Even if they don't go into it, the way they speak on certain things or lending money or giving
right,
rides or people trying to use them physically, they're gonna blurt that stuff out. Like if you get anywhere near their soft spot, oh, you know what I mean? They going if you raise your hand and they're gonna they kind of jump. You know what I mean? They show you where their weaknesses are and what they're insecure about just through conversation, and you can tell the areas they're weak in or self-conscious or
so
insecure.
I got a question. Can you use discernment in the wrong way to take advantage of people?
For sure.
Yeah,
Like just like I said, you can see their weaknesses, what they've been
yeah,
burned before. Um, you can see what they like to talk about, and you maybe
yeah,
you know uh, point your interest in that direction and
right,
stay away from the things they fear. You know what I mean? Or reassure them in the area they're insecure at. You can manipulate that. Um, make them run from their stuff they fear
right.
and make the thing that you want them to do more appealing because you know what they like. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
And
And the poor man's depiction of
think
that.
about somebody with money, right? Dude with money, and girls coming at him. He can discern. Most dudes they discern. I'm gonna say about 60% dudes probably. They can discern when people gonna call them. If she calling me, it's for something. It ain't just calling me to say how I'm doing or the well wishes. You can tell through their voice. They kind of waiting on that right time to ask you for it. So they trying to like build up to it, and you just sitting on the phone listening to them like when they gonna ask me, man? It's just coming. When they gonna ask
Mhm.
me, man?
And
Or
like you said, when you have that, what they like,
yes,
you can dangle it
yeah,
like
you
bait.
can
Like
you do it.
you just
You,
want
you
more
can do
money.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or you can go the opposite. You know what I mean? Like a woman knows a man is protective over his money because he's been used by for his money so much. She can go the complete opposite route. You know what I mean? And just talk to him about physical stuff or talk to him about comic books, and she
right.
gonna get the most money because she never asked about the actual money directly. But you got to do that. It's a fine art to doing that as well.
Yeah,
You,
for sure.
but it's a manipulation using discernment to manipulate somebody out of what you
Yeah.
want to get from them.
So my subtopic is a person with discernment in the corporate space can accurately assess trends and make strategic decisions that differentiate between short-term fads and lasting opportunities. I think you gotta have discernment in the workplace, man, because they'll tell you one thing when they telling you about the job and advertising, but then when you get in the company, it's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely got to be able to discern. And a lot of times, it ain't even the job. The job may be easy. It's the personalities that you got to deal with. on a day-to-day basis that suck. You know what I'm saying? So
And it's not always people you're just trying to figure out or use discernment on. It's the choices, the investments you make. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, why would you go with this company? Like, you got some money to invest. Why would you give the loan to them and not
yeah.
them?
Right,
Um, do you think they will be able to pay this loan back? You know,
right.
so the numbers look good on the front side. You know what I mean? But actually, do you want to check those results? Or have they been cooking the books?
Hmm.
Is these things really accurate? Accurate. So
And then like, when you working at a place and a manager be like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna take care of you, man. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of you, man." And then when he show you the paper, you like, is that what you call taking care of me, man? You know what
is
I'm
that
saying?
read the fine print?
And he looking at you in your eyes like everything cool. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's going on, man? I mean, I think this is
Yeah,
very generous. I'm breaking my back. I'm hurting myself preparing this deal for you.
yeah.
Well,
And you talk about inequality or discrimination, right? You hear these companies advertising, "Come work for us. We hire the best talent. We this and that." And then you can. That's why I like social media now, LinkedIn and internet. You'll see this company advertising this, but then when you look at them on LinkedIn, there's no diversity. It's all apples, no oranges, no bananas, no grapes or strawberries. It's just all apples. And you like, so all this stuff y'all talking, man, it's like hogwash almost. It's like, where is it at? What y'all talking about? I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? But if you got discernment, you ain't gonna try to do that because you go in there, the culture is not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you know how to survive, unless you know how to adjust and survive in that culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole nother skill within itself.
and that's the thing too. People think unfairness or discrimination comes with frowns, pitchforks, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, throwing rocks,
Subtle,
calling you names.
subtle.
It's just, it comes, it's a smile and a handshake. We gave you the best offer we could possibly get. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody that out of the 10 people
Yeah,
got hired were oranges and they get, maybe 20 to
yeah,
40% more than you. That man
mhm,
wasn't mean to you. He smiled at you and talked. Matter of
yeah,
fact, he told you was blessed to get this opportunity, and he paid you 30% less.
yeah,
That's how sometimes discrimination looks. You should be happy with what I'm giving you, the
boy,
leftovers, the crumbs,
boy,
and this comes with a smile and a handshake and looking you straight in the eyes. You know what I mean? Probably a compliment, uh,
yeah,
and a feeling that you should be thankful for what you get to
yeah,
even be here. You know what I mean? Because we all can know what we would deal or do if somebody called us a slur or openly disrespected us. But a lot of this disrespect is coming with a smile,
right,
and they get a handful of stuff. They're giving you stuff. Well, how can
right,
they be giving you stuff and still be discriminating, disrespecting you? You know what I mean?
easy. And then the thing is, they're not gonna openly disrespect, because they don't want to get sued. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of them know that you're not gonna sue them because you don't have the resources. You don't make enough money to sue
Or
the company.
or the evidence, because you a
Yeah,
lot of them. That's why they don't want you to talk about pay with your coworkers.
right. Yep.
A lot of companies have that
Hmm.
policy that's frowned upon. Or they offer different people. They might offer people that look like Mike. They might offer him a low job, and they say, "Well, we're offering them the same job, and they're just turning these jobs down. All we interview the same amount of applicants that are oranges that are
Right.
apples, but you're giving the apples a different pay offer when you do that. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of strategies and manipulations they
Oh
will
man.
use to
Hey man,
discriminate.
they'll tell one group of people, "Oh, we on a hiring freeze. We're not hiring nobody," and then an email will fly across. So and so has been promoted to this position. I thought y'all was on a hiring freeze. What happened?
We ain't gave nobody a raise, bonus all around to
Man,
mid-level managers.
man.
So
And I think people don't understand about business. Everybody do everybody dirty in business. It's not just race. Everybody get done dirty at some point. I ain't never heard somebody be in the corporate world and not get done dirty at all, unless they've been highly favored or they parents own a company or something like that. But if you
Or
just
they've been the one doing.
yeah, exactly. So our next one is growing up in the inner city can either enhance or hinder your discernment and awareness. Which one do you think?
Yeah,
Enhance or hinder?
I've been noticing this. Like I see people they leave the hood and they think everybody that's not hood is good.
Boy,
Well, I hate them people at the gas station. I hate them people like it's always us that's acting like that. But they all everything they do is sunshine and rainbows. They
boy,
always do the right thing. They always help each other out. And it's like you get that us them speech. You know what I
right.
mean? In the hood, they so terrible. There ain't nothing to learn. But
Yeah.
in the subdivision, oh, it's always wonderful and this and that. Man, those people just as weird, grimy.
Well, they get mad at you because you ain't cut your grass on time. There, hey.
You know what
You
I
didn't
mean?
cut your grass. You
It's
didn't
the
break your
same
leaves.
characteristics in a
Yeah.
different zip code or different area. So I don't like the change. Thinking everything that's the opposite of what you left out of is good, and
Right.
everything you left is bad. It's a good things about the hood or the inner city, and it's skills and life lessons that you can take from there. But you got to be balanced, because
Yep.
a corporate
Yep.
person will lie to you just like a hood person. And
Yes.
thinking a corporate person got the best intentions because he rich. He won't rob me. He
Right.
won't deny my raise. He won't
Yep.
take 30% of my check or
Yep.
give me a pension fund. He would never do that because he rich. Rich people don't steal.
Yep. And I think it enhances your discernment because you deal with different kinds of people in that um in that place in the urban here, from drug addicts, consistent, people that lie all the time,
Yeah.
people that try to sell you scams and stuff like that. That's why this stuff on social media, it don't mean nothing to me because we already dealt with that living in Southwest. People try to sell you dreams all the time, man. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. Yeah,
It is.
come raise my 7 kids. Being a stepdaddy is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
You
On
don't
Total
know.
Recall, hey man, I got 5 mouths to feed. I thought you said 6. Man, I ain't even married, man.
And then inner city versus good neighborhood, whether in a corporate space, professional settings,
Yeah,
crackheads in every one of them. Dude
yeah.
sniffing pills, he doing coke, she an alcoholic. But we just know we tend to hate what we know. So we know what the neighborhood crackhead look like, but we
And
don't
then
know
and
what the
then we see the process
corporate
of
crackhead
somebody
looks like.
becoming a crackhead. We see if you grow up in an area, you see the process of them becoming a crackhead. You don't just start off a crackhead. A lot of times they start off functioning. They start smoking, and then you start seeing them doing it. Next thing you know, you start seeing they start picking up the habits, start getting heavy. Now
Yeah,
they don't
like
work no more. They just out there, man. They out there now. You know what I'm saying? They're
you
in the
know,
twilight.
he was all city in
Yeah,
junior high. He was all state in high school. You know what I mean? Now they rock got him. You know what I mean? He
then
worked the job for a little bit. You know what I mean? You
people that
know,
sell scams, right? They get it, they sell scams, they're always selling dreams, but then they get into when they get older, they get into like, was it whole life or whatever? I don't know, some little life insurance scam was the pyramid scheme. It kind of
yeah,
fit them. Everybody kind of going what they fit to, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And before we get in, and also before we get into this hot topic, I want to ask you this because I asked my wife this. Do you think, like growing up, when we was younger, people's personalities attracted certain people to them? Like a person's personality, you attract who your personality kind of is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you attract. I mean, I think givers attract takers and
Mm,
things like
that makes
that.
sense. Yeah,
Um, you know what I
yeah,
mean? You just kind of you gotta modify and adjust. If you keep getting the same type of girl, same type of guy, same type of people in your life, and you don't like it, you maybe gotta adjust yourself. It's
yeah,
something that you're doing that's attracting those kind of people that you don't want that you don't want in your life no more. So you gotta that change got to start with you.
I want to show you a video too before we get in there. We was talking about like I can find it. Yeah, right here. Show you the video. We
My
talking about women
understanding
with
is she
colored hair.
demands 100% of your
Yeah.
paycheck every week,
Yes.
which is around $2,100,
You hear that?
and gives
Yeah.
you $25 a
Yes.
week back.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, Ms. Tate?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Can you explain why it is you're comfortable keeping him on such a short leash?
Well, I am comfortable with keeping him on a short leash
See that?
because of the things that he likes to do with his money. We
Cover
don't
the
have a
number there.
community pot. The community pot is right here.
He
in
got
my pocket.
Crayola
He
red.
gets his check, he come home and he brings it to me. What I feel like he needs, he gets it at that point in time. He has recreational habits that I don't concur, so therefore he gets what I give him to spend.
Woo! Woo!
And it's
And you've been doing this for 4 years?
Yes.
Do you care about how he feels at all?
I sure does. I do care about
Sure
how he
does.
feels, but I also care how my household is ran and where the hard work and money goes.
So $25 a week, you think is enough for this man to get?
So
Now I gotta ask you a question about that.
yeah,
so
go ahead.
since he's a man, he's the man of his house. He's providing, and he's giving her the money, and he's delegating her the task of.
Is he? Or is his personality attract a person like that?
No. He's delegating the task of her taking care of all the home business. So he told her, "Hey, you take care of this, and then you give me this." So does that make him a man and a good leader because he's a provider and he's delegating the task of business manager to his spouse? Do you think that makes him a good leader or a leader?
Discernment and awareness. Knowing about yourself, awareness, discernment, knowing who you're dealing with, right? And he's like he in divorce court.
And yeah, it kind of looks like that.
And we talked about the whole thing with somebody with colored hair. I mean, you say you'll give people like that a chance, but you know.
He gave her a 4-year lifetime contract. You know,
And
he
what I'm saying,
gave her a max deal.
His personality seemed like he would allow that to happen, though. That's his personality, though.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to do certain things. So he lets her do it. And the price of that, the consequences of that is he gets $25, he works hard, and he just don't want to hear her mouth. And that's costing him his whole check.
So
to not hear her mouth.
So what I'm saying is 4 years though, not 6 months. Not yesterday. We talking about 4 years of doing it. That's what I'm saying. At what point do you say, wait a minute, this is extreme?
Yeah, no, so
awareness wise.
I don't think he has a big problem with it. You know what I mean?
In divorce court?
No. I mean, 4 years is the build up of that, and it's something that said, "Hey, I'm gonna move on." Because, man, the first 2 months, if he really didn't like it, he would have moved around. I mean, It don't take that long to figure out that you don't like something.
If you don't have the discernment or awareness, some people, to me, it seems like you do. If you don't have the discernment or awareness, or you like the situation that you was in. It wasn't about the money. What I'm saying. It was about she was taking you through the amusement park.
Yeah.
So you was riding all the rides at Six Flags. You was riding all the rides at Six Flags.
Yeah. Now somewhere something changed with his access to those rides. And I think
you know how women are with the Crayola red hair. There are some pros and cons. How about that?
So.
But you got to outweigh the pros and the cons with your awareness and discernment. You know what I'm saying? So
a situation where I think I would be getting taken advantage of would be a good situation for a man like that. Because he's doing the manly thing. He's going to work. He's providing. He's taking care of his home and his family. She's just doing a different part. But he likes that.
He's in divorce court. If he likes it, why is he in divorce court?
Why he liked it because he ate at that restaurant every day for 4 years. you gotta like something about that restaurant.
That's
You
what
go
I'm
there
saying.
for
Like,
4 years.
what
Now,
changed though?
now the reason he's terminating his subscription is a totally different thing. He liked that at one point, and maybe it's not the money, you know. And then it's like the victim playing, like when you want to get out of something that you've been
Yeah.
in for 4 years.
Right.
Now you're gonna be like, well, she was taking my shit. No, she
Yeah.
didn't just start this. She
Right.
was doing this
Exactly. Do it
for 4
before you.
years. Now you're trying to broadcast her doing you so wrong for these
Mhm.
4 years. Like that was y'all's system. Both of y'all agreed to do that.
Mhm.
Now it's a problem because you want to get divorced and you want to look like a little victim.
And I
Women do it,
think,
men do it too. So
yeah, I think too. So one thing about I know he ain't probably not rich, but people think about they want to be rich, but when you become rich, or if people know that you rich and you like triple digit or however millions, now everybody you meet, you really got to have discernment and awareness. And some people are really good at hiding, like you say, putting a mask on.
yep. I mean,
Like, I
like you know
some
what I
people
mean.
will be
Like
with you, they be taking notes. They have a journal, be taking notes, everything that you do. And then soon as you cut them off, now you know you in court in civil court.
exactly. So for 5,000, probably $5,000 a week, a lot of people wear that mask every day.
Yeah.
And you got to realize levels of wealth with people. Like we went over this in an earlier episode.
Yeah.
But a person that's on like poverty level,
I know what I missed. You didn't miss too much, bro.
a perfect person that's on poverty level,
Yeah.
seeing a person that got all their bills by themselves on
Yeah.
auto pay, all their food is in the refrigerator, they want to pop, they go get it. That person looks rich to the person that's in poverty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they got to make decisions on what they're going to eat for lunch. Is they going to eat lunch? How much is this bag of chips?
Yeah.
Versus a person that's got a full refrigerator full of stuff and probably got a freezer full of meat.
Right.
That person looks rich until like to somebody who makes six figures. That middle person looks poor. Like, man, they just, you know what I mean? They still paying a car note. They doing this. So even where you are, you can be a come up to somebody lower than you.
I guess too, what I'm saying too is sometimes when people think you have money like that, what they allow you to do to them. Not the abuse, that's crazy. Abuse is crazy, but when you're talking about other stuff like just bizarre stuff, and they allow you to do these things because you have the access and money, the lifestyle that you're giving them.
Yeah. So
instead of saying, no, I'm not doing that. And it's like, and then try to, they'll come back and try to use that same thing against you, which is not illegal. It may be bizarre. It's not illegal, but it's embarrassing.
You can
But
be
they try to
selling
use
another
that
court.
as a money, as a thing to try to extort you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something.
And exactly, we always, like I was telling you, like in the example before, we always think about rich people going to be used and abused or manipulated, blackmailed, and things like that, or targeted. You know what I mean? But to a person in poverty, you know what I mean. You making 30,000 to them, like you make 30,000 a year. I mean, they making 5, maybe 10. You know what I mean? You making 3 times what that person makes. So you are their come up on their level. And they wearing a mask for you. You know what I mean? You think you're just a regular person, but this person putting on the front, they doing all this weird stuff. Until they realize, maybe there's a bigger fish in the sea.
Right. And see, this is what I'm saying, right? When it comes to dating, when it comes, oh, your mic having a feedback. You might have a feedback.
That probably me. What it sound like? What's that little thing?
It's like a little crispy noise. Okay, it's back now. What I'm saying is like, just think about like when you're dating, right? Is it fair to say that everybody gonna experience getting dogged out when you're dating, whether it's man or woman? If you be in it for a number for a lengthy amount of time, you're gonna get dogged out. Or something crazy gonna happen. I'm not talking about rape, I'm just talking about crazy stuff. Like somebody gonna probably you be talking to another girl, or another girl gonna be talking to another dude. You know what I'm saying? You might see her out with another dude, and y'all was just you were just with her the other night. I'm saying stuff like that.
Of course, I mean, the more you play the game, I mean, like it's like rolling dice. You know what I mean? If you go on a winning streak, the losing streak's coming. You play long enough, you know what I mean? But you lose long enough, you're gonna eventually win. You keep playing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like when people are on a regular level and you go through the dating cycle, things happen. You know, a girl get the best of you, a dude get the best of a girl, and you move on. You got the best of me. You win. You got the best of me. Your cover 2 was pretty good. You got the best of me. Okay. But it seems like when a person's in a different level of life, now instead of just everybody moving on, now I'm going to sue you civilly because I didn't like what you did. Is it because the lifestyle, they don't want to move on from their lifestyle that the person was providing? I'm talking about outside of abuse, outside of the crazy stuff. I'm talking about just inside of the regular parameters of what's legal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not illegal. Is it illegal for a person, like, for a dude to sell a girl a dream? Is that illegal?
You know, mislead, you know, selling false hope. I don't know.
Because women mislead dudes too.
You know,
you got the right amount of money. Like if a dude that worked at Burger King in the back on the grill, you know, go through the dating cycle, you know, dog a couple girls out. It's not gonna be silver suits against him because it's nothing for them to get. You see what I'm saying?
oh,
What you gonna
for sure, for sure.
What you gonna sue him for? You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, you gave them the opportunity, you know what I mean, and they could, you know, make millions or even $100,000 or $30,000 in substantial money, just you know.
Because that's how they want to get you. Just to settle. They can get you to settle. They go. They just get you to settle without going to court. Oh man! But for regular people, you're not gonna have that kind of problem because it's nothing for somebody to get. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm on custody of his PlayStation 5. You know, so. But if something happened, like if a millionaire do something to you, you probably can get paid. You know, press charges and get paid. You know what I mean? If I do the same thing,
most time they don't press charges though.
If I do the same thing, you can't sue me because I ain't got nothing to sue for. You know what I mean?
Most time you don't press charges because it ain't criminal. What you gonna press charges for?
You know, I mean, even if it's a criminal chargeable offense, some stuff you can charge me. If I'm rich, you can charge me and get the money and sue
That's
me.
the thing. They're not charging you. They just take you to civil court.
You know, some situations they can do both. But even with me, I mean, you gotta.
I'm talking about abuse. I'm talking about outside of abuse and rape and stuff like that, sexual abuse. I'm talking about just regular in the dating cycle kind of stuff.
Hey, that's what they say, more money, more problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you gotta worry about every girl that you've ever dated.
Man.
You know, trying to sue you, or you know what I mean, arguing consent in the heat of the moment.
Boy.
So
that's a fuzzy word too.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
And then move on to the hot topic, right?
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is upset with contracts. That's why the rich people be having they sign NDAs. Sometimes those NDAs, if you don't ironclad them NDAs, they still come back and get you, bro. It happens, man.
Because they don't protect you against some criminal activity.
Or somebody paid them more than what your NDA suing them for. It's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta read the fine print.
Read that fine print.
But a contract, what type of contract?
It said he was upset with his contract and said he wants it to reflect that he is the #1 talent. What happened was they brought in what's that guy name? Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
They gave him a big contract. Well, it's reported or alleged that Stephen A. took a pay cut while they was doing the layoffs and stuff to keep his job at ESPN. So I think he's saying like they're making more than him for people that came in making more than him, but he's bringing in the ratings and the views. And he said his contract about to be up, and he wants them to make sure that, in my opinion, but that's my question: how is he using awareness, and how is he discerning the situation that he's in? In my opinion, he's telling them without telling them in the negotiation room, you better make things right, or I'm gonna get ready and get up out of here.
He's trying to get his worth. I mean, his
Right.
market value. This is what he sells for. This is what his value on the market is.
Yeah.
But I think, you know what I mean, they probably gonna try to get rid of the old, just like they got rid of all those people we thought they would never fire. For ESPN, he's just gonna be another one of those to pay a lot of people.
Here's the thing though, right? Stephen A. Smith, he just got done building his own production studio.
Yeah.
With his podcast, and he got his own studio, like pretty much like he got a big old metal building probably somewhere, got his own little sets and studio. He has his own following on. Since he started his podcast, he has his own following now on YouTube or whatever, on Twitter, whatever else. Dude probably gonna be up to 1 million some followers here pretty soon. And I think they don't want to be like when Shannon left Skip and they seen how the ratings dropped. I think they don't want that. Unless they do, they're like, we just gonna start over, blow it up and start over. But it sounds like he kind of be like the NFL player. He's subliminally negotiating with ESPN. Like, I got my own production company. I got my own following on YouTube. If them numbers don't line up, I'm walking.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's how you gotta be, man, because companies gonna play hardball with you. You know what I'm saying? This is how it goes. I mean, they happen to regular people all the time. It don't just happen to rich people. They'll play hardball with you all the time. And they'll dare you to leave. They'll triple dog dare you to leave. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they know you're gonna leave because they know that your talent is worth more than what they're paying. Somebody's gonna come at you up.
And more than they're going to pay you too. Like, we're not willing to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But then they tell you, "Oh, we hate for you to leave. You know, we wish you the best," and stuff like that. It's like, don't be disingenuous, man. They see the email chain. We wish you the best. Oh, we love working with you. You know, say all that kind of stuff. You know. So, getting into the corporate topics, can you use discernment and awareness during the interview?
For sure. You know, you gotta. You're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. You might not answer as many questions, but you're looking at body language, how they ask you stuff, and like what these people really about. Do your research on your interviewers if you can before you go in there. I mean, there's so much information to take in and on an interview, and then use it, navigate through that.
Yes, discernment and awareness is so important. This, I'm telling you, anybody listen to this, youth, adults, young adults, you need these two things. When you go into an interview, you should ask questions. I think I used to be really quiet when I was younger, but you should ask questions. One thing you should ask them is, what's the culture like here? Just see what they say. Just what's the culture like? They're not going to tell you. Are they going to tell you the truth? Probably not. But you can discern that. When you ask them that, you can tell their body language might change. They might try to come up with some blanket statement, but you got to be.
They'll never tell you. We got a high turnover rate in this department, in the whole building. You know what I mean? The 6th floor, you know what I mean, is known as the worst, no man's land. We don't do promotions. We don't get bonuses. You know.
The manager gonna cuss you out if you come in late.
Yep.
We only give you, 30-minute lunch, but we want you to be back in 25 minutes. They don't tell you stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, we really brought you in just to interview, just to meet the quota to interview people, but we already got somebody picked. They're not gonna tell you that. You got to kind of figure that out when the interview
already.
Yeah. So another question I have is, how can a person use awareness and discernment when looking for a place to start a career?
I mean, that's all awareness and discernment. I mean, you taking a leap out on faith, starting a new career, you got to research. You know what I mean? It's like faith and intelligence mixed up with the evidence you get, all in the little perfect storm to bake a cake.
Right.
To find them, and then when you starting, you're gonna make the wrong choices a couple times, and you just can't get discouraged about that.
That's how you get a stronger discernment in the world is through your mistakes, and you learn from where did I mess up at, like at what point did I mess up and kept going, for sure. And then as you grow, you're gonna find out that a lot of things ain't so random. Like how many people randomly got this job? You know what I'm saying? How many people they work here because they know somebody that got them the job? You gotta have the awareness and discernment to kind of understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are really good at some people are obvious, they don't care what you think, and some people they kind of good at covering it up. That kind of where you can't really tell. You kind of got to find out through information or whatever. But definitely good to know somebody that work in the place and give you the real info, not give you the blanket info that HR gonna tell you, because HR tell you anything to fill that slot. They'll tell you anything.
Well, you get real close. You get real close to HR for like 2 weeks, and then you'll never see those people again.
Never see them again. Yeah.
They don't eat lunch in the same place.
Nope. When I worked in IT, though, most places if I work in small companies, though, we actually got kind of cool HR because we always had to work on their computers and stuff and their printers and stuff. So you got kind of cool with them. But otherwise than that, though, you really don't need fool with IT. If you in any other position, you don't really fool with HR like that because a lot of times you don't even want to go to HR because you think something wrong. So they finna write you up. So how can discernment and awareness be used to navigate a race or unfair situation?
Just monitor people, clothes, dress, accent, things like that. Do research on your employers and your coworkers. If they got certain type of flags, around their desk, that may be an indicator. So just keep your eyes open, be aware, look for your indicators.
So here's the thing for me, right? What I learned working in IT, working in different places, race and unfair situations are going to happen for the minority. It's going to happen. What you have to have is a mindset of why am I here for? And is this going to be a long-term situation or is this going to be a short-term situation? Sometimes you need a certain place for the skills for your resume. You need those kind of skills. And that's the only place that's going to give you that opportunity to gain those skills. But the trade-off is the ceiling is right here. There ain't no ceiling. You're looking up at it. People like you don't get a whole bunch of promotions. You kind of just start where you stay at. But you may need that for the chess piece on your board. You might not have that chess piece yet. And sometimes you got to be like 007. Who gonna get the intel? If everybody say we ain't gonna do this because of race, who gonna get the intel to pass down to the other people that can get in the door? Somebody got to go through the brick wall, and then sometimes the brick wall sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like Pame on Kill Bill when he punched through the board. Somebody got to punch through the board in order to get strong enough to make it through that board.
Yeah, I mean it's like
you gonna bust your knuckles in the meantime till you get strong enough. You gonna bust your knuckles. You know what I'm saying?
Every 2,000-yard rusher probably had a good fullback. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody got to take on that lead block.
Yeah.
But we gonna all win. When the person get in the end zone, we gonna all win.
Right.
They don't put the running back aside and say you won and they didn't win. Blocking is just as glamorous as scoring a touchdown. It's the same, right?
And even in sports, right? Even in sports or anything, I tell anybody this: your skill will always make a way for you. I don't care what situation you're in. Because I'm telling you from experience, it's nothing like, it's one of the most craziest feelings in the world that a person that you know don't like a certain race, but the person in that race is so skilled that they got to come ask you to do this for them because there ain't nobody else that can do it but the person of that race.
Wow.
And then you can tell it hurt them. Oh, I got to go ask this dude. He's the only person that can do it. I got to ask him. He's the only person. And that's why I'm telling you, your skills, man, will take you places, man. But skills with awareness and discernment and having some sense, man, it'll take you so much further than just having the skill. You know what I'm saying? Because you can have the skill and have a juggernaut mindset and destroy everything, and you never be able to display your skills because you don't have the sense. So, anything you want to say before we move on to the next question?
No, I'm good.
So, discerning when to stay or leave at a job based on the market or your value.
That's something you should be check. Like the minimum you should check that is yearly.
Yeah.
Keep an updated resume and look in your field. You know what I mean? You earn your investment. You know what I mean? Watching your career field is like watching the stocks for you. Let's watching your stock go up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want to maximize what you can get while you're young. You're still working.
Yeah.
So you gotta know your value. You gotta look for your value, and you gotta test that market.
Yeah, and that's why I would tell anybody, is a job is good, but you want to find a career track to be in. That's something I had to learn. Being in IT versus just working at a retail place, but being in IT, that's a career track, and there's many different things in IT. But being in information technology field for years instead of just working at retail or cashier for 10 years, there's two different kind of values on the market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can negotiate that. You know, your value kind of shows on your resume based on your skill set and what career field that you're in. So definitely, at least every, 3 or 4 years, especially most jobs now, that you don't get raises. Like you don't get a 2%, anything. You don't get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a bonus, you may get a one-time bonus, if that, and they're taking taxes out of that.
Hey, you might get a pizza party.
Yeah, Little Caesars, hot ready. Now you can't even get the good stuff. You can't even get the Heights Pizzeria or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So these some quick hitting questions we got called think about it. Is that can a person discern that a person is not good for them to be around?
Yes, but you got to know about yourself for sure.
Yeah.
You got to know about yourself. Hey, why am I attracted to this person? Why, is it going to be 4 years? You're dealing with something you don't like, or it is that means you harm because you like it. I like it. I like the person, but I don't like what they're doing to me. You got to realize that you're the problem through discernment.
Yeah, that dude that we just watched with the woman in court with the red hair. Eric, do you think it took him 4 years, or you think he probably realized early he just kind of rolled with it?
No, I mean he liked something really good about it, like something he really liked.
Yeah.
But it was bad for him. So what pleased him didn't serve him.
Right.
And he had to get to that realization.
Then you have to choose the right mentor, right? You think about which Star Wars was that? When Anakin hanging around the chancellor, man, he didn't have the discernment to know what he was getting into. And they gonna turn to Darth Vader, man. They had a discernment, man, to know about this Sith lightning, man.
Yeah, I mean, and then what he did was he judged the book by its cover. This a little frail looking old man, blah blah blah, this and blah 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 that.
You gotta admit though, the chancellor was charismatic, man. He knew how to talk, man. He had the wisdom. I mean, he wasn't no slouch, man. I can imagine how hard it is to discern like who you really talking to.
See, that's the thing. That's why people get took in the woodshed because the person with it all, what do they want from me? Boy, they don't want nothing from me, and then you end up in the woodshed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he thought, well, I'm a low level little Jedi doing my little thing. You know what I mean? Why is this man hugging me and stuff like that, trying to take me under his wing, showing me, letting me come play with his little lightsaber and stuff like that, making me feel important because he wants something. You know what I mean? Everybody wants something.
The Chancellor had a lightsaber? He had a lightsaber? The Chancellor?
Yes.
I thought he just had the Sith. Wait. Oh, okay. So my next question, can a person have self-awareness to know that they are growing as an individual? Like, can you monitor your own growth? You should, but what do you think about that?
You can, you should. And I've noticed I've been around some intelligent people that sometimes feel like they got there overnight. No, like I remember when you was broke in school. I remember when you didn't know you was gonna get accepted in that program. And like I said, I remember when you this. So not to throw it in their face, just to remind and motivate. Not that's it, but just to motivate you. Hey, you've been here before. You've been down. You called me and said, I don't know if I'm gonna make it before.
Right.
But that was when you got in the program.
Yeah.
With that hard test. You made it through all those situations and you're gonna make it through this one again. Right. So don't be scared to try because you tried 5 years ago, you tried 10 years ago, and you made it. This is another time where you need to try. You've been coasting and you don't see how far you came. You still feel like you're on the first floor.
Yeah.
But what you feel and what's real is different because you're on a floor 100 right now. We're going to 1,000, so you got a lot more to go. But you ain't on level 1 no more. You're on 100.
Yeah, for sure. So our next question is discerning when times are changing and able to discern and adjust. How important is that?
That goes into all the other quick hitting questions like being in a job, like when you want to test your market. That's this question. That's all of that combined. You got to be aware of all this stuff and how it's going to know when you need to move. The job market's changing. You need to move.
Yep.
Your relationship changing. Maybe your husband's getting more disrespectful. Maybe your wife is, acting more rebellious. You know what I mean? She's making money. Things are changing. Your kids are transitioning from elementary to junior high. Their tastes are changing. Everything is, changing around you, and you got to be aware of those things. You know what I mean? You can't always give your kids $10 for the week. You know what I mean? It's time to kind of level that up when they get high and things like that. So everything changes.
Yeah, because nothing never really stays the same. So you have to be able to understand that change is gonna come. Whether like say marriage, nothing's on autopilot. You can't expect nothing to be on autopilot. You can't put marriage on autopilot. You can't put parenting on autopilot. You can't even put your own life on autopilot. It don't work that way. So you have to be able to adjust and understand that change is coming and be able to adjust without be so frustrated and stubborn that I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna keep running cover 2 no matter what. I ain't gonna change. And then you keep getting the top blowed off your defense. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to.
And talking about they got lucky. So the denial and change, right? So people don't notice gradual change. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't seen Mike in a little bit, and he was like, "Hey man, you losing weight?" It's like, "Where, man? Am I?" You know what I mean? And I was like, "I don't know it." You know what I mean? But I'm hard on myself every time I go on the scale. You know what I mean? I'm too big and this and that. You know what I mean? But I'm dieting and stuff like that. Sometimes it takes somebody else to notice that. And then the bad part of that, you could be getting bigger.
Yeah.
I still wear large. I still wear a size 3. 20 pounds, 30 pounds. And then something wrong with my shirt. I know I wear a size 3. They stuff runs small.
Right.
No, you just get bigger and you're not aware and you're not noticing the changes of stuff. You got a whole bunch of jeans that don't fit. You got most of the stuff in your closet don't fit because one little bad habit, kind of can have that drop a scene every day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. Even I remember I know when I was younger, I didn't never have no suit. I only wore just either jeans or button down shirt or polo shirts, but never had a suit. And I realized that times were changing for me anyway, as an individual, that I need to start getting suits. I mean, if I want to, because what I started realizing when I started working with people in IT, just seeing stuff, most of the people that was in the high range, like past the 80s and 90s and the 6 figures, they wear suits. It's like maybe a 2% chance you'll see them wearing, and it's probably on Friday because it's casual day. but they probably still wearing something that we probably still can't afford, like some $300 long sleeve shirt, ostrich boots or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, Monday through Thursday, though, they wearing suits, man, like, you know what I'm saying, and a tie or whatever. But, in their hood mentality now, I don't need to wear no suit. And I'm like, okay, you don't.
But they are wearing a suit. They're wearing a uniform of their trade. You know what I mean? They got to have $300 Jordans on. You know what I mean? $200 Air Maxes. You got to have it on. You got to have a chain. You know what I mean? I don't really want to be seen in none of it. Just give me my money, make the drops, do that. I don't have to have rims. I just need my cash. But it's a uniform. It's a prestige. It's a level to show the people under you, you know what I mean, how it is. And that's the same thing as a power suit in the corporate world.
Yeah. It's like, what do you want your base salary? Do you want to be at a certain range? It's up to you. Can you adjust with the times? Now, the next part is understanding a dream or vision. You hear a lot of people say, follow your dreams, follow your passion. It's a vague statement almost, but like executing the tasks to fulfill your dream. Like somebody say start a business. That's a vague task. Start a business. What kind of business?
Step one. And we all talking about this. Break it down.
What do you need? What do you need to start a business? Do you need insurance? How much that costs? Regulation from the state. How much that costs? You got to get a license from the state.
Exactly.
Yeah. How much that costs?
And
execute the work.
People don't ask themselves, whose dream is it? Is that the dream of an adult, or that something some 6-year-old came up with and said, I want to do that? Right. And you held on to that. You know what I mean? Maybe you want to be in the NBA. Maybe you want to be a singer. Or maybe are you going to you did make it to the NBA. Did you do anything? I don't want to be the one dream killer that says you can't be in the NBA at 5'5". You know what I mean? It's a lot of people who've done that, who made the NBA. You know what I mean? Whose dream is it? Did you adjust that dream? Adjusting your dream is settling. So it's either gonna be you're gonna be in the NBA or you're a failure. That's it. Your life gonna be over if you don't make it.
Well, people don't realize, even though you may not make it, but to be able to execute the task, whether you 5'5" or 6'8", you gotta execute like no other. You can't do mediocre execution if you want to go pro. Especially now with social media and stuff like that and all this NIL stuff, man, you got to be on point in high school. You almost got to be playing like close to like that level in high school, college level in high school. You got to stand out that far, especially in a small city like Little Rock too. You really got to execute on a high level. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you probably got to have the grades in the classroom.
And that's almost on everything. So, I use the NBA, but man, it's really, getting a 6-figure salary, just making talking about millions in the NBA, just the steps it takes to make $250,000 a year. You know what I mean? It's almost going to take you NBA type of effort. You know what I mean? So when you're picking your dreams, all dreams are realistic because you can do anything, right? Right. But whose dream is it? Is it a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, something you said you wanted to be a veterinarian at 4 years old, and you held on to that dream? Now you don't even like animals. So it's just your dream. You don't like animals. Ever since you got bit by that frog, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. And then monitoring
and then being able to execute even if the times are tough. I think this a lot of times, most people, young people, deal with this. You go on a path, and then when times get tough, you mess around and move to another path, and you start all the way over, but you was halfway done with another path. You know what I'm saying? Being able to stay committed even when the times are tough. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the parts. Like if you can understand that as a young person, to have like somebody really walk to get it, keep that kind of in the front of your mind. Because it's easy to just change and do something new, but then you start from zero now instead of being used at 50.
I mean, and that's hard. That's hard in itself, right?
Yeah.
Doing something for 3 years and then change it to start over from the beginning is hard. Finishing that thing you did for 3 years and then go up that 4th year is hard. Everything is hard.
Yeah.
But which one, like I say, my brother say, choose your heart.
I think if you learn how to work through the hard, it'll make you stronger. Just like not even.
That's what they say. You know what I mean? Finishing something is just always better than not finishing something.
Yeah.
But you gotta know, you know what I mean? If it's detrimental to your mental health to finish this financial goal, you just gotta watch.
For me, right? I know me working full time and going to school full time, I'm probably not gonna make all A's. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not gonna happen. It's just not. Spending time with family, spending time, with wife and kids, and then doing homework, something gonna take a hit, and it's probably not gonna be the wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be school. So I'm probably not gonna get all A's. I may get like, some A's and some C's, A, B's, and C's. You know what I'm saying? Mixed in there, but that don't stop me from finishing the goal. I understand it's realistic expectations, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of how to get this done. You know what I'm saying? So pick one. Micromanager or nuisance coworker? Which one?
Nuisance coworker.
Yeah, because micromanagers, man, they get on your nerves, man.
I can deal with that person if they musty, they talk all the time, whatever it is. Yeah. I can just,
you can distance yourself.
And they're on my level. You know what I mean? They're just a coworker. Now, if you got a micromanager that's in control, that's kind of in charge of like anything to do with your money, your location, or things like that. And if they're doing something that you really kind of don't agree with and it's affecting you directly, that can be that can make a really good situation a total nightmare. Dealing with annoyance, I can do that.
What's the perfect job scenario? Like if you could draw that up, what's the perfect job scenario?
To have the enjoyment of on about an 8, the difficulty of the job about a 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Perfect scenario. Very like task oriented. Give me the task or my job.
Yeah.
And let me figure out how to do it. Train me how to do it, of course. But let me do my job. The education and skill I get. This is what you need done. We need this amount done about this time, or that would be perfect to me. Or take care of these clients. Take care of them fully.
Yeah.
Use your own judgment. I can do that.
Yeah.
For me.
For me, the perfect job is like it's like the time to come in, right? Because I know, like I said, both of us probably do it, dropping the kids off at school. It's hard to be at work at 8 on a dime because you got to drop your kids off probably by 7:30.
You know what I'm saying?
Then you got to fight through traffic, right? So it seems like if you could come to work at like 9:30, 10ish, maybe, then get off at 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? But so you won't be able to get 8 hours, but just that kind of time. But having a manager, like I say, just give you the task. Tell me my job scope for real, not the stuff that's on these Indeed sites where it's like a whole. But tell me what my job is, and I'll get it done. You don't have to micromanage me. I know how to manage my own time, and we can get it done. You know what I'm saying? So having a team of coworkers, everybody on the same page. You got some. It's that 2 sides of the coin, right? People be saying the job unfair, but it be some people that be unfair to the job too. You know what I'm saying? Unfair to their team.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, everybody can work together. Everybody collaborate. You know what I'm saying?
And I'd rather handle that amongst each other than to go to the manager. Well, Susan's not doing her workload. She hadn't talked to this many clients or whatever. Blah blah.
So what you think about this? Yeah, Mac or PC? If you had the money, if you just had all the money in the world, you just was towards your Mac or PC.
I like the capabilities of PC. I like the performance of the Mac. You know what I mean, and the easy. Everything is kind of easier to do. You know what I mean, and they can get really fancy. If money was no object, they would really look good. But the same thing with money is no object. Personally building your own computer to your own specs, You know, I gotta go with the
Yeah.
PC. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
see, I think what people get sold on Mac is Mac for a person who don't know how to work on PCs. A Mac is like a Porsche or a Ferrari of computers. Because when you buy a Ferrari, everything is there for you to have. It's everything is there. There's no need to mod a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just
You don't
crazy.
look on you don't even open the hood.
Yeah, you don't. Exactly. A PC, it's kind of like buying a Chevy with an LS in it, man. You can put turbos on it, man. You can do all kind of stuff and trick it out. And you can buy it at the low end and upgrade it up to the high end. You know what I'm saying? Mac, whatever you order it as, that's what you got. I don't even think you can expand it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get like the big one. I forgot what them, but that one's almost like 20 racks for it though. But I think people that do a lot of editing though and art, a Mac is for them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it comes out the package with whatever
doing
you
Adobe stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you get a low end Mac though, it's gonna suck just like a PC because you ain't got enough RAM though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
To run everything. But if you get a PC though, man, you can build that thing however you want it, man. Almost like a server, almost. It's just running PC stuff on it. So, but yeah, both of them got their place, man. But I think
sure.
most people that like Mac like aesthetics though. If you see people that
Yeah.
got Mac, they really like the aesthetics and they got the pretty desk and all that stuff. Most people with PCs kind of like extra workhorses, man. Put on your hard hat and your lunchbox and go to work kind of people. But so my last one, this is called the wish list, and we're gonna get to close out. What is the base salary that you could be satisfied with for the next 5 years?
I mean, I would just want to put that infinity sign on there, and that's it for me. I mean, so right now you're telling me what's the lowest on my wish list? Like, what's the lowest I would possibly go? Because you're not talking about the highest, because it's the
No,
highest.
the base salary can be whatever you want it to be. It's your
You
base
know what I
salary.
mean? Oh no, I mean, but like my base salary would be the infinite sign, of course. You know what I mean? If the step down, what I can really live with, I can really be surprisingly happy, probably. Like if you know what? I'm not factoring in Texas, and I'm not really going on a deep dive on this.
Well, you don't have no deep dive. It's
You
like
know
a
what I mean?
wish list.
But
It's just
like, I think I can really make a really good budget with 80, or probably 80 rigs. I can probably really. You will look at that and probably thought I had $1 million. And I'm choosing that amount because of how I would make it look. I'll do that. I'll stay at that. I don't want to be too greedy because the original answer is the infinity sign.
I worked at a place one time and they paid me the wrong salary one time. Like one check though, the wrong salary. And it was probably in that range. And I was like, man, that's crazy. It was unreal. I was like, wait a minute, you get this after taxes, man? That's crazy. But I think for me, man, now that I've been working in IT and this big C stuff, yeah, I think for me it's well over 6 figures. I'm thinking like 220, something like that.
Yeah.
For the next 5 years, then I'm probably gonna go higher than that, but probably like 220. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Be like a CTO or something over IT, making decisions and delegating tasks and hiring the right team, make sure I got the right people and stuff. I can see myself doing that. About 220. That's a nice number. Then I can take that and something else.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like I say, it's of course. It don't beat the infinity sign, of course.
No, it don't beat the infinity sign. It's like a realistic standpoint, especially living in Little Rock. You know what I'm saying? Living in Little Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like, you know what I mean.
So there's people making that living in Little Rock.
Like, you know what I mean. I was saying lower. I went lower. Factoring in, like the cost of living in Little Rock, how that would actually look. Now, like, if I was like, in Dallas, that answer would have been totally different. You know what I mean?
Well, why it couldn't be the same living in Little Rock? Like, if you made that much money living in Little Rock, like I said, if you could just get to 110, 120 living in Little Rock, and you don't live on the crazy side of town, dude, that's a life hack. You almost beating the game, man. If you overhead.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But like I say, you 110, right? You know what I mean? But you still push. I mean, I'm not saying lower your number or whatever to make it interesting. No, I didn't say lower your number to make it more interesting. To make the challenge more interesting. But you said 110, life hack. You know what I mean? You were saying that about that. But when you playing a game like this and you're going to set your own salary, you know what I mean? Let's 85, 90. You know what? I think, even with you, 250. I think 275, 300. And I mean, and that's what
That's why I said though, the next 5 years, because after you make that for 5 years, it just goes up after that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it goes up after that. But yeah, guys, pretty get ready and sign out this thing. Let us know in the comments if you like this episode. Sorry about the last episode. We was trying out the wireless mics in the wind. I think that's what I didn't have no wind screens on there, and it was just blowing into the mics, and it just made the volume just stay like that the whole time. It was crazy when I went back and watched it. Wasn't nothing I could do about it, man. It was gone. I was like, well, I can't waste it. I got to go ahead and put it out, man. Because when you record in 4K, dude, them files are huge, bro. That one file that we did, that one file when it was rendered, I think it was 30 gigs by itself.
Oh, man.
An hour of recording in 4K, man. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and it was like the weather didn't really seem that bad.
We got some views on it. I think it was like at 25. It was somewhere 20, 25. Yeah. People looked at it on the YouTube. I was like, I'll take it. I think a lot of people watch it on Facebook too. So pretty cool. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments if you like some stuff you'd like to hear us to talk about or break down. Ask us some questions. Ask Zay a question. Ask Mike a question. Give you some insight on that. Let us know. Anything you want to say before we sign out, bro? All right, guys, we are signing out.